Ladies and gentlemen, welcome tonight's host, Women's Basketball Hall of Famer and ESPN Sports Analyst, Debbie Antonelli.
Good evening. Not this one? There we go. It's my first time with a mic, sorry. Welcome, everyone. This is going to be a really fun night, okay? We've got a lot of great things to celebrate, and I'm really pleased to have an opportunity to be here once again. I was here last year, and it was a ton of fun. So let's, first of all, thank ESPN, our sponsor. I'd like to stay employed. Can't forget them. To get our night started and to assist with our award presentation on stage, I welcome our 2023 CSC President, Jessica Poole. What up, Jess? How are you, sweetheart?
Thank you, Debbie. We appreciate you and all of your help and work in recognizing our members. Thank you to our friends at ESPN for your continuous support of our organization and its members and for sponsoring this prestigious event. You're valuable members of our CSC family, and we appreciate your support. What a year we have had. We have done a lot of really amazing things this year. We have onboarded a new executive director, check. We have changed our name, check. We have started a rebranding project, a website redesign, check. We have done a lot, and it's because of all of you. So thank you so much for being who you are and leaning in and allowing us to take this organization to greater heights. I hope you all have had a wonderful start to CSC Unite. It is always wonderful to be among family, to learn, grow, and fellowship with each year. I hope you're all taking time to nurture old friendships and create new ones during our time together. Our family lost several legendary men this year, and also two people very close to my heart. At this time, I will read the names of CSC members who have passed away since the convention last year in Las Vegas. Buddy Davidson, Auburn. Neil Gardner, Southern Utah. CSC Hall of Famer Fred Huff, Southern Illinois. CSC Hall of Famer and Big East legend Larry Kimball, Syracuse University. Joe LaFaro, UT Martin. Bob McComas, Slippery Rock and Drexel. Former Jake Wade Award winner Billy Packer. Mike Scala, Montclair State, Monmouth, the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, and the New Jersey Athletic Conference. And Eric Moore, near and dear to me, BC SIDA, the Onedin Group, and Fayetteville State. This time last year, we were inducting Executive Board member Lenny Reich into the CSC Hall of Fame. He wore our good friend Chris Wensler's jacket to honor Chris. Lenny spent time at Mount Union, Capital, Marion, and Defiance College. He passed away soon after the 2022 convention, and while we miss his kindness and good nature each and every day, I know he is here with us. Please join me in a moment of silence in honor of our friends and colleagues we have lost this past year. Thank you. A huge thank you to Debbie for being our host again tonight. She's got a fantastic camp full of youngsters she needs to get back to first thing tomorrow, so I'll turn this back over to her and we can begin tonight's awards. Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you, Jess. Remember last year? We honored 3 years of award winners here at this event. So this year should be a breeze, right? This evening, we honor the association's most important and impactful members and advocates, except that Jake Wade Award winner. I'm not sure what to think about that, but you guys picked it, so. But let's get started and have a great time listening to some great legends in this business. We're going to do some Lifetime Achievement Awards, and our first award is presented to individuals who have served at least 25 years in the sports information profession and who are retiring or leaving the profession. At this time, I invite the Lifetime Achievement Award winners from 2023 who are in attendance to gather at the base of the stage to my right, please. Before we meet the 2023 Lifetime Achievement Award winners in attendance, I'd like to recognize two members of the class, and Jess already mentioned them posthumously. Lenny Reich from the University of Mount Union and Mike Scala from Montclair State University. Not in attendance tonight, but receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award are from the College of St. Rose, David Alexander, from Washington and Lee University, Brian Lobsher, from Colorado State University, John A. Martin, from Middlebury College, Brad Nadeau, from the University of Rochester, Dennis O'Donnell, from Nazareth College, Joe Seil, and from Wake Forest University, Steve Schutt. For those that are in attendance, as I call your name, please accept your award. Line up, come up here on stage, get your picture with Jess, okay? And then fast break it out here, okay? Our first Lifetime Achievement Award recipient received the Warren Berg Award in 2007, was presented the North Central Conference Legacy Award in 2008, and joined the College Sports Communicators Hall of Fame in 2009. In 2011, he was named the recipient of the Minnesota State Sports Management Program Distinguished Alumni Award. And in 2012, he was presented the Vic Swenson Award by the Minnesota State Students Association. All of that while also working 2 Olympic festivals, a World University Games, and 2 Olympic Winter Games in '92 and '02. A Calgary, Alberta native, he has been at Minnesota State University since 1985. From Minnesota State University, Paul Allen. Congrats, Paul. Our next Lifetime Achievement Award recipient spent 32 years at the University of California, where he worked with 90 head coaches and 7 athletic directors while promoting 58 national championship teams. A Dallas native and University of Texas grad, he initially worked as a student assistant in the Texas Women's SID office and then as a graduate assistant at Tennessee before taking a position as Women's Sports Information Director at Cal in 1990. He was named Assistant Athletic Director in 2002 and Associate AD in 2017, having previously received a 25-year award from the College Sports Communicators in 2016. Today, he is being honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award from the University of Cal Berkeley, Herb Bennison. Congrats, Herb. A star basketball player who became the sports information director at his alma mater. Our next Lifetime Achievement Award recipient has enjoyed a 35-year career in athletic communications. A 2019 recipient of a College Sports Communicators 25-year award, he is a graduate of Bethel University in Minnesota, where he is a member of the school's Hall of Fame. In his search for a better-paying coaching position, he came across the SID job at Luther College, where he spent the last 30 years of his professional career. From Luther College, David Blanchard. Show me the money, David. Our next Lifetime Achievement Award recipient spent more years on his university's athletic communications staff than anyone in school history, with 32. And he has 36 total years in athletic communications. During his career, he has helped publicize 2 men's basketball Final Fours, 19 NCAA tournaments, along with 17 bowl games. He also promoted 2 National Players of the Year in basketball. In football, 3 Big Ten Players of the Year, winners of the Butkus, Hendricks, and O'Brien Awards, and a Heisman Trophy runner-up. He served a 3-year term on the CSC Board of Directors from 2010 to 13, and today he adds a Lifetime Achievement Award from the University of Illinois, Kent Brown. Way to go, Ken. Good to see you. Our next Lifetime Achievement Award recipient school named a Student Athlete Commitment Award in his honor that is now presented annually to a person that demonstrates hard work, dedication, loyalty, and commitment to team, university, and community. He was a member of the College Sports Communicators Board of Directors from 2008 to 2011, and he received a 25-year award in 2019. His 30-year career in athletics communications began at Worcester Polytech Institute and concludes with the last 23 at Oneonta State University. From SUNY Oneonta, Jeffrey Hazard. Congrats, Jeffrey. Our next Lifetime Achievement Award recipient got his start in college athletic communications in 1974 and excelled in the field for nearly 3 decades. He was named Southwestern Athletic Conference SID of the Year 9 times and holds membership in the Jackson State University Sports Hall of Fame, the SWAC Hall of Fame, and the Collegiate Sports Communicators Hall of Fame. He had the distinction of publicizing some of the most renowned names in sports history, including Walter Payton, Robert Brazil, and Jackie Slater, and was the recipient of the SWAC Alumni Association's Lifetime Achievement Award. From Jackson State University, Samuel Jefferson, Jr. Congratulations, Sam.
Thank you very much.
Very nice. Having previously been honored with 3 awards from the College Sports Communicators, our next Lifetime Achievement Award recipient is a New Haven graduate who ran athletic communications offices at New Hampshire, Cal Poly St. Louis Obispo, UMass Lowell, and Union College. He also served as Director of Media Relations for the Golden State Warriors. He received a CSC 25-year award in 2008, was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2009, and was named the winner of the Warren Berg Award in 2016. In all, he spent 8 years on the CSC Board of Directors and served as the organization's president in 2014 to 15. Please welcome retired athletics communications professional and president of his own agency and CSC past president, Eric McDowell. Congrats, Eric. Very nice. Our next Lifetime Achievement Award recipient spent 28 years promoting his alma mater's athletic program. Between his time as an undergraduate student to being named the Sports Information Director in 1994, he worked 11 years at a newspaper covering the same school and its student athletes. In addition to telling the school's story and recording its history, he was also quite proficient with a camera. From the University of Wisconsin Stout, Wayne Pitt. Congratulations, Lane. Congrats, Lane. A double award recipient at this year's convention, our next Lifetime Achievement Award recipient spent 35 years in college athletics with stops at Stephen F. Austin, Texas A&M Commerce, Midwestern State, New Mexico State, and Hawaii Pacific. A 2013 recipient of a CSC 25-year award, he has also been involved in the organization's leadership for much of his career, including serving as president of the Division II Governance Board. He also spent 4 years on the NCAA Division II Men's and Women's Tennis Committee. He is a member of the 2023 CSC Hall of Fame class from Hawaii Pacific University, Bill Powers. Way to go, Bill. Congrats. Way to go, Bill. After more than 30 years in the business, our next Lifetime Achievement Award recipient's name is synonymous not only with his university, but also with Division III and the College Sports Communicators. He served a 3-year term on the CSC Board of Directors, was a founding member of the College Division Management Council, received the CSC Achievement Award in 2017, and claimed the Warren Berg Award in 2019. Having previously worked at the University of Dayton, the Ohio State University, and the University of Notre Dame, he spent the last 23 years as the face of Colorado College athletics. Please welcome, from Colorado College, Dave Reed. Way to go, Dave.
Thank you,
Congrats.
Debbie. Good to see you
Good to
again.
see you too.
Good to
I
see
know,
you.
it's been a
Wow,
while. A 2022 inductee into the College Sports Communicators Hall of Fame, our next Lifetime Achievement Award recipient began working at the University of Iowa Sports Information Office in 1990. Spent over 2 decades with the Hawkeyes, including the last 12 years as head of the department. He is chair of the Iowa Varsity Club's Hall of Fame voting committee, and during his career, he worked more than 100 Big Ten and NCAA championship events, including 10 men's Final Fours. Prior to Iowa, he worked at Drake University and Northwestern State for a combined 8 years. From the University of Iowa, Steve Rowe. Good to see you, Steve. Congrats, man. Good to see you. Our final Lifetime Achievement Award recipient spent a combined 37 years in the Southeastern Conference, including his time as a collegiate swimmer at the University of Georgia. He got his start in sports information as a student assistant for CSC legend Claude Felton at Georgia. Then he became a sports information intern at the University of Alabama in 1990. He continued to work for the next 33 years at the University of Alabama. He served as Assistant Athletics Media Relations Director and then Associate Communications Director for the last 15 years. From the University of Alabama, Roots Woodruff. Go, Roots. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. All right. All right, Lifetime Achievement Award. Check. We got him. Here we go. Next. The Mary Jo Haverbeck Trailblazer Award is presented annually to an individual who is a pioneer in the field of athletic communications, who has mentored and helped improve the level of diversity within CSC. The winner of this year's Trailblazer Award is a Senior Director of Strategic Communications for the Thurgood Marshall College Fund, Rob Knox.
In a row.
I know.
You too. How you doing?
Hey, we keep running into each other, Rob.
2 years in a row getting interviewed by Debbie. How about that?
So Mary Jo is a woman we knew and knew for a long time who had great passion for women's basketball, like you and me. What does it mean to you to win this award?
Oh my God, it's I've been thinking about this all week. It's awesome to be in the same breath as Mary Jo Haverbeck because everything she's done, and then to look at the list of award winners previously that have won this award, to be among them. I have to be honest with everybody. This is really bittersweet right now because the four people who have really been instrumental in me being able to accomplish a lot of things all passed away within the last year. Mr. Eric Moore, who was a mentor of mine and really groomed me when I started in the business. Mr. Loris Collins, who was one of my Outward Bound counselors back, was associate director back when I was at high school around Bunch's team, if you could believe that. When I started writing for the newspaper, Ted Solari at the Philadelphia Daily News was really instrumental in helping me. And then for those who don't know, I lost my dad 2 weeks ago. So it's bittersweet, but I mean, you know, it's special at the same time because of what the award means and how I've tried to live my life and my values of just trying to create opportunities for minorities and being lucky to be in spaces and open doors and bringing tables, and like women's basketball has always been a passion of mine.
We're very sorry to hear about all your loss. Can we just take a pause for one moment of silence for Rob and his family? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
As long as I've known you, you've been somebody that's always been able to give back, but you also know how to blaze a trail, young man. All right? So you've had to navigate some ups and downs and challenging times, but what was the most challenging time for you about becoming the second black person to be the president of CSC?
Just having people believe in me. I do want to take a moment to congratulate all the award winners tonight. The Lifetime Achievement Awards, you're sitting there watching them. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for the Hall of Famers, I wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for the other award winners like Sam, Jeff, L. Doc, I wouldn't be standing here. So, I mean, I owe a lot to them because they believed in me. So the challenge for me was just having people believe in me, starting out at Lincoln University in athletic communications when we didn't have an athletic communications department, and then having students and training them and getting the students to believe in me and understand what I was trying to do. And again, just having a passion for opening doors for women, women of color, and having fun with it as far as seeing them grow and seeing them excel. So it's been special. There's been challenges every day, right? This profession has significantly changed when I started, and then I left a little bit as an ESPN for 2 years, and came back, and it was just amazingly different. But fortunately, I was able to again get in a position on the board to ascend to president, and it's Larry Dock, Judy Wilson, Shelley Poe. I mean, all the past presidents. It's just amazing. Like, I'm not here by myself. I mean, my wife. I mean, I'm just. I know the work, and I know what is written on paper and the things that I've accomplished, and I know that. But I'm looking at Greg Goings, and and Sam Jefferson. It's just like, this is not just me. I'm here by myself, and Jess and my crew back there, Maurice, Siobhan, Karen. I mean, there's so many people. I know I'm forgetting names, and I apologize if I forgot names, but again, I'm speechless. I'm sorry.
Rob, you mentioned the Lifetime Achievement winners and all the mentors that you've had, but you also have some wisdom that you can provide to some young people. What would you provide right now to anybody out there that's young in this profession?
Take as many selfies as you can. Nah. No, in all seriousness, have fun. Like, for me, I think the biggest thing is have fun, care about people, cherish relationships, because it gives people their flowers. Like I said, I've been surrounded by a lot of death in the last year, and I'll be 50 this year. Not saying that's old. It's just a milestone, but but I'm technically out the business in a way, but I'm still in the business thanks to Siobhan. But when you begin to reflect, give people their flowers, have fun, love what you do, enjoy the moment. Like, I know some of you may aspire to go from Division III to Division I or do this, and that's great, that's cool, pursue that, right? But at the end of the day, have fun, enjoy the moment, bloom where you're planted.
Okay, we're going to go a little rapid fire right here.
Let's
you
go.
Ready? Okay, so your favorite sports story that you've enjoyed covering during your career?
That is not rapid fire, because I could go like 5,000.
You only can give us one.
So one, I would say, I'm going to go back to the newspaper days, my roots. I interned at the Philadelphia Inquirer, and I covered Kobe Bryant's senior year in high school at Lower Merion. So being present for a lot of those games there, and that was pretty fun.
That's sweet. Okay. Something you wish you knew then that you know now?
Give myself grace. Because I'm so hard on myself. We all try to be perfect, and none of us are. And, just got to give yourself grace at the end of the day. And that's something that I'm trying to do more and more of. And that's something I've learned as I've gotten older. So.
Favorite book or movie? This is the last one.
Okay, cool. Well, y'all know I read a lot of books. For those who don't follow me on Twitter, KnoxRob1, please follow me. I do read a lot of books. But I'm going to switch it up. I got two movies that I love. New Jack City. It's an old school movie with Wesley Snipes. Y'all got to look at it. I know every line. I know every line in that movie. And then my second favorite movie is Training Day with Denzel. I just love that movie. So.
We love you, Rob. Congratulations on winning the Mary Jo Haverbeck Trailblazer Award.
Thank you.
The Warren Berg Award is presented annually to a CSC College Division member who has made an outstanding contribution to the field of college athletic communications and who, by their activities, has brought dignity and prestige to the profession. It's my honor to recognize the 2023 Warren Berg Award winner, Sam Atkinson, Associate Sam is the Associate Athletic Director for Communications at Gallaudet University. Okay, Sam, so that's a special place, right? We know that has a special mission. Tell us why you chose that institution on your career path.
Yeah, just so everybody knows, Gallaudet University is the National Deaf and Hard of Hearing University in Washington, D.C., and it's a school for the deaf, and it's a special place. I used to work at another school, and Gallaudet was in the same conference, and a lot of times when our teams went up there, they didn't get the stats, or we didn't get any results, and the opportunity came open to go work there, and I wanted to go there and represent the deaf and hard of hearing, and they have great stories to tell, and I knew I could hopefully be the bridge to the media and help them tell those stories, and it's been so rewarding working there. It's special, and you just have to, I didn't know sign language before I got there, and learned it while, through the years, and just a lot of patience.
You also were the chair of the D3 men's basketball committee when the pandemic hit, and it sort of derailed some plans. What kept you going in this profession when things got tough?
Yeah, in March 12th, 2020, I think we all know that date very well, when the NCAA basically shut down all of athletics. And it was hard for me as the chair. I was at one of the sites and having to go tell Hobart and Christopher Newport that their season was over. It was devastating, and the student athletes were the most important thing in that tournament, and it was sad to see their tournament end. And personally, from being the president of CSC at that time, we knew we had to forge ahead through our Zooms. We were all in boxes for a long time, but it was important to move forward and get through it and be healthy. So it was a lot of pressure, but we got through it.
And you have some special family members here in attendance with you. You want to tell us a little bit about
Yeah.
that?
So a lot of people are, know when I come to the convention, especially in Orlando, my wife and my two daughters, Claire and Molly, are right by my side. And unfortunately, they couldn't be here this year. Molly graduated from 5th grade on Friday, and Claire graduated today from 8th grade. So appreciate them. But my sisters, Cindy and Lucy, flew down from Maryland to be here with me today, and really appreciate them being here. Also, Katie Bean, Associate AD for Gallaudet University, is here as well, and I really appreciate her being here.
Nice. Rapid fire.
Okay.
Best advice someone ever gave you?
So one of the things I always, I like about that is a saying of, it's good to dream, but it's only a dream until you write it down, then it's a goal.
Favorite athlete to watch?
So some of you know I'm a big Florida Gators fan, so back in 06 to 09, big Tim Tebow fan, so it was great to watch him when he was in college.
And do you have a go-to walk-up song?
So Debbie, you probably didn't know this, but in college I was a DJ, so
I did
late
not know
90s, I got labeled as Sam and M. So one of my favorite go-to songs at that time was still DRE, the keyboards, the smack. So
I'm guessing your sisters taught you how to dance.
pretty much.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the 2023 Warren Berg Award winner, Sam Atkinson.
Thanks, Debbie. Appreciate it.
Congrats. The Arch Ward Award is presented annually to a CSC member who has made outstanding contributions to the field of college sports information and who, by his or her activities, has brought dignity and prestige to the profession. The 2023 Arch Ward Award winner is from Temple University, Senior Associate AD for Communications, Larry Doherty. Listen, Doc, it's good to see you, man.
Great to see you there. And I think you're next. Am I
You
on?
want me to hold on to that for you?
You got me? Thanks.
Yeah.
I understand you're next. I want to hold up your time now, okay? I know
Make sure you're
next.
free and clear,
So-
okay? All right. So listen here.
Yes.
Like your dad, it's a huge impact on you. What advice did he give you when you got in the business?
Well, advice-wise, he basically just wanted to make sure that it's about the student athletes, and it's always about the student athletes. I think everyone in this room realizes that. We're trying to tell their stories. We're trying to make sure we get them the attention that they need, and the positive attention. So that was always what it was, Debbie, and what it should be. That's what we try to do here in our profession. So.
Amen. All right. So not only your dad's influence, but you got to work with John Chaney for a long time. You got a funny story for us? Keep it clean.
Now you're tough there. Right there. So, now Coach Chaney and I were really good friends. I mean, I spent 3 years with him, and I came from St. Joseph's University for 15 years, and St. Joe's and Temple were kind of big-time rivals. So we went through a lot, St. Joe's and Temple. But my story doesn't involve that. My story involves John Chaney, who we're going to Alabama. Alabama is ranked 18th in the country. It's my first year with him. And the Alabama wheelchair women's basketball team reaches out to me to see if they can meet Coach Chaney. So I'm like, I think I can make this happen. I think we can try to do this before the game. Coach is like, I'll do it, but after the game. I'm like, after the game? We're playing the 18th ranked team in the country. This game was not on television. You'll appreciate that, Debbie. So I'm worried about the officials down south. No, just down there. And so we're at the game. We're winning by, I think, 6 or 8 points with 2 minutes to go, and we didn't get a single call the rest of the game. So now I've got to remind Coach Chaney that he has to go talk to these young women from Alabama and wheelchair basketball team. And did he not just talk to them? He spent like 45 minutes to an hour with them while his team was on the bus waiting to go back to the hotel. His assistant coach comes off and says, can we move this along? I'm like, could you tell him that? John Chaney was one of the most remarkable men I've ever been involved with in college athletics. Really enjoyed it. And that just spoke to the man. And that's a story that we didn't publicize out there. And it was something that really struck me about John and my relationship with him. So.
What a class guy, no question about it. So family is a big part of your foundation, Larry, and you mentioned your dad, you mentioned Coach Chaney. What advice would you share about that family foundation to CSC?
Well, it always should be family first, and that's sometimes tough for what we deal with, especially with how it's growing with terms of social media, digital media, all the sports we're trying to cover. So there's going to be times where you're going to miss opportunities to be with your family. It just happens. But what I try to do is then to say, okay, well, my son Connor, your birthday is on February 9th. Well, we're playing like SMU on February 9th, so how about we'll make your birthday February 10th this year? So, and we'll celebrate at that time there. So that's sometimes tough for me with Connor, but we get it done. So I just would say always make it family first, but always then make sure if you can't make that date, you make it the date special when you can. So.
All right, Doc, let's go a little rapid fire here. Best advice you could give someone who's just getting started in the business?
Not family first in there, but I think you got to make sure your student athletes are first. Your teams are first. You're just trying to keep trying to make sure that you can get positive information out there. That's what we're here for. We're trying to tell positive stories about our teams, our student athletes, and our coaches, so that's what we do.
What's the best sporting event you've attended?
My Temple people will not be happy with this, and I have quite a few Temple people in the audience right now. Our athletic director and vice president, Arthur Johnson, my direct report, and senior associate athletic director, Ed Stoner, and his wife, Elise, who I've known since she cut her teeth in athletics. And Scott Walkoff, who oversees marketing and communications, is here. And I have to give a shout out to my staff who's here. I'm not going to say your names, Jordan, and Quentin. I won't say your names. But Brian Quinn, our golf coach, flew in here to be here and to be a part of this day. So that was good. So again, you fire that question back to me. That was very slow motion.
Know. Rapid fire, fast break, Doc.
I know, Debbie. I know.
Best sporting event you've attended.
Yes.
Now you've already covered
And I said it wasn't about Temple. That's where I started. It was 1981. I was 1 year old. 1 year old. No, I was not. I was a senior. I was a junior in college, And St. Joseph's, my alma mater, and I worked there for 15 years, was playing the #1 team in the nation, DePaul University. And Jimmy Lynam was the head coach, and probably nobody in this room remembers this game as vividly as I was. I was a women's basketball contact as a student at St. Joe's, but I got to go to this game at Dayton, Ohio, and watch St. Joe's beat the #1 team in the nation, 49-48. They did something. They would put their hands up like this. They went 4 to score the entire game, and there was no shot clock. I think the NCAA changed that a year or two later. So that was my favorite sporting event.
Okay, and then what's your favorite thing to do in your spare time?
You know, that a lot of my spare times with my son Connor. He struggles a little bit right now, and we basically spend time if it's playing ping pong or just watching some shows for him. So that's what takes up my time. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2023 Arch Ward Award winner, Larry Dock.
Well, the Jake Wade Award is presented annually to an individual who has made an outstanding contribution in the media to the field of intercollegiate athletics. Tonight, we have a treat for you. For the last 4 years, members of CSC's Goodwill and Wellness Committee have worked with Frontline Outreach, an organization in Orlando that provides a safe haven where community youth and their families participate in programs and activities that promote leadership, entrepreneurship, academics, and the discipline essential to succeeding on the world stage. Fundraising efforts, including our own 5K, have enabled Frontline to purchase sports broadcasting equipment for their innovation studio. At this time, I'd like to recognize Committee Chair Jeremy Rosenthal and Vice Chair Ryan Davis for their consistent work with this great organization in our host city. This year, CSC raised $7,500 for Frontline to continue their work. Ryan and Jeremy, please stand. Just this morning, committee members witnessed firsthand how the donations of CSC members have allowed young people to learn about the world of sports communications. Our members watched students interact with real-life sports broadcasters, including our friend Jamie Say, sports anchor at WKMG-TV, and ESPN analyst Kelly Berg. Maybe the most important person they have interacted with throughout their learning is the 2023 Jake Wade Award winner, a Hall of Famer, distinguished broadcaster, and one of our biggest advocates. Please help me congratulate Debbie Antonelli. The kids are going to give you the award.
This is kind of awkward.
Debbie has been asking all the questions during tonight's show, so we're turning the tables on her. 2 young members of Frontline's program are here with us to interview her. Joining me on stage with the 2023 Jake Wade Award winner are 12-year-old Danica Joffanis and 13-year-old Jeffrey Fleurimon.
Thought you were safe, didn't you?
That's the camera? All right, yeah. Okay, be nice. Try.
Oh, it's an honor to be interviewing you here today. I can't even get my words straight. I did a lot of research in my time waiting to come interview you, so I saw many of your high points in your life. But I want to know, what was a major setback in your career?
Oh my goodness. Where's the softball question first? That's lesson number 1. Oh my goodness, I've been pretty blessed. First of all, let me thank Ryan and Jeremy for your work with these students. They're phenomenal, and they're hardworking, and they really care about this profession, which is really fun to watch. I've been very blessed, Jeffrey. I've been on the air for 35 years. That's a long time for anyone, and I love basketball, and I just keep working hard to try to wait for what's next. So I don't want to think that there's been any setbacks. I think there's been some challenges and some obstacles, but along the way, I just keep working harder, and that's my attitude.
It's an honor to meet you too. So I'm gonna pipe down the questions because he just took it all the way far. So when he said all of your high points and when we researched about you, what pushed you to like advocate to special education?
Well, this is a hot button for me for sure. Those of you that know me and my family, I have 3 boys, and my oldest son just graduated with a master's degree who's looking for a job. My middle son has Down syndrome and is a recent graduate of the Clemson Life program at Clemson University, and we are extremely proud of that. And then my youngest son, Patrick, is a rising senior and is a D2 point guard at Emory and Henry College in the SAC. So very excited about my 3 boys. But the special education question is easy for me. Special Olympics is a great passion of mine. And those of you that know or follow, I have had a 5-year fundraiser. I'm looking forward to year number 6. I'm just going to tell you very quickly, it's called 24 Hours, Nothing But Net. I make 100 free throws on the top of every hour for 24 straight hours. So at the end of 24 hours, I've made 2,400. And in 5 years, we have raised over $840,000 for Special Olympics. And I am clearly motivated by sport and Special Olympics and the combination of the two, because I've competed with my son and I've trained with my son so that he could have his best life. And sport is a big part of that. So we will next year, when I shoot free throws in my driveway in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, cross over $1 million for Special Olympics, and I cannot wait till we get to do that. Did you guys rehearse before we came up here? No. Okay, that's lesson number 2.
Okay, so like, what's some like powerful hold on, sorry.
Right, take your time.
It's okay.
Ask me what you want to ask me.
Okay, what's some inspiring words or uplifting words you want to ask uprising basketball players?
Well, the product is the narrative in our game right now, and it's really good, okay? Shoot till your arm falls off is one of the things I say on the air because I like offense, and I want to showcase our game at the highest level. So everything I do is going on offense, and that's where our game is at its best. But I have 3 standards that I make my decisions and try to live my life by. Build. I want to be a builder, constructive with my time, and do something that helps someone else. Serve. Service is a great quality of a really good leader. I learned that from my coach, Kay Yao at NC State, so I want to be someone who serves. And then empower. If you build and serve, you will empower others to do the same thing. And that's what this program that you all have funded through the run and other fundraisers is doing for these 2 young people. And you can thank the leadership of this organization for creating an opportunity for these 2 and many others. And thank again Ryan and Jeremy for their leadership in this space.
Before you take the mic, I want to ask, if you had a motto, what would it be?
A motto? Mm-hmm. If I had a motto? Yeah. Go on offense. I don't play defense.
All right, I heard you've been asking some rapid fire questions, so we got some rapid fire for you here.
Jeffrey, you make me a little nervous.
They all say that.
All the girls say that?
No, all of them.
Oh, everybody says that. Let me give you another one. When I post-game interview someone, that has just competed, and when they come over to us for a post-game interview, they're pretty sweaty. And what I say to them so that they're not nervous is, don't get any sweat on me, I got to wear this tomorrow. And usually it works. They smile, and then we're good.
It looks like it worked. Anyway, my rapid fire question for you is, what was the best sporting event that you've ever been to?
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I've been to a lot, but the thing I love the most is watching my kids compete. Outside of that, anytime anyone is cutting down the nets is my favorite place to be in sport.
So this is another rapid fire question. What's one event that you have not crossed off your bucket list yet?
Ooh, that's a good one, too. Well, I've been very fortunate. Golf is my second favorite sport, so I'd like to go to the British Open. I've been to all the other events, big ones in our states. That's on my list. If anybody can hook me up, let me know. That's it. You guys good?
Yep.
We're done? Well, thank you very much. Thank you for the Jake Wade.
Let's give it up one more time for our 2023 Jake Wade Award winner, Debbie Antonelli.
Thank you. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that stuff. All right? Got to check it all off with the kids, right? Okay, so thank you very much, though, honestly. I appreciate the association and CSC recognizing my 35 years of blessed career covering college basketball and the WNBA and so many other things. The Keith Jackson Eternal Flame Award is presented to an individual or organization who has made a lasting contribution to intercollegiate athletics, has demonstrated a long and consistent commitment to excellence, and has been a loyal supporter of CSC and its mission. The winner of the 2023 Keith Jackson Eternal Flame Award is the founder and president of Sidearm Sports, Jeff Rubin. All right, this is a really cool award. Congrats.
Thank you.
Really awesome.
Congrats
All right,
to you.
Thank you. When you first decided to get into web design and development before you jumped into the world of school athletic websites, how did you first decide to do that, and what was the genesis of all of that coming together for you to be able to work in this industry?
I really wasn't good at anything. And coming out of Syracuse, wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And the web just started commercializing, 1994, and kind of liked building websites, and it really wasn't that hard. And so people started asking, hey, can you build me a website? And it just, there was no big epiphany. There was nothing like, I'm going to go create this big company. It was really, how can I find some money to go to the bar this weekend? And that's really what started. It was just a new industry.
This organization has a lot of experience and a lot of resource. How did you tap into that for your client base?
Yeah, that's an easy one, because this organization is why I'm here, why we are who we are, and it's about relationships. It's always been about relationships, and the folks here, started with Syracuse University and the late Jake Krauthamel and Sue Edson and Mike Veely, Pete Moore, but I look at some of the exhibitors that are here that are new. And people don't go to their booth or they don't talk. And that was us, right? That was us 2 decades ago. But we built relationships. We came back the next year. We started seeing some familiar faces and got to know Eric McDowell and so many of the award winners, Rob Knox. John Paquette took us under his wing with the Big East early on. And I could go on and on with every row in this place of somebody who had an impact on who we are. but it was the relationships.
Yeah, Jeff, you mentioned relationships. That's the key word, right? Because that's how you get significant client growth. First with internet consulting services, and then with Sidearm Sports. Break that down for us.
Yeah, first of all, I really was hoping no one would ever mention internet consulting services again. Talk about an awful name. But look, we got started, internet consulting services, got started, again, as I said, there was a necessity in the marketplace. And then Syracuse Athletics, this is going back to the year 2000, was with a startup in this industry that was doing college athletic websites. And if you remember in 2001, there was this .com bust, which was the market was a bit overvalued. There was really no business model behind these companies. And this company had a business model that would have succeeded today. It was an ad-based model, but back then it was just too early. And so they went belly up. And Jay Krauthammer heard I was the Syracuse guy, or somebody told him I was the Syracuse guy, and brought me into the office in a meeting. And it was the most difficult presentation I had, because Jake said, hey, Jeff, can you show us a college athletic website that you've built? No. So I brought up the Discovery Channel. And he said, well, how about a college athletic website? So I brought up National Geographic. I mean, these were sites that we had done, but we hadn't done anything college athletics. And so I left that meeting, thought, well, no chance of this contract. And a couple days later, they called and said, hey, Jake would like to go with you. And that's what started Internet Consulting Services. Again, awful company name. And then it was just one day, years later, where one of our employees agreed and said, Jeff, we really hate this name. Can we name the product? And I said, yeah. And he came in the next day and he said, Sidearm. And I said, oh, it's neat, like the baseball pitch. And those that don't know, Sidearm's an acronym: Sports Information Distribution Engine, Archive, and Records Management. And that's what we do for all of you.
So this industry and the people in this room have watched so much change in this business. What's the next big thing?
Yeah, some of you heard me say this today at our product showcase, but generative AI in general. And I mean, you've got to lean into this. This isn't something to be afraid of. This is something that I promise will make your lives easier, and we're going to see significant change in how we communicate and how we get things done in the next 12 months. We'll be standing up here next year, and there should be a generative AI award for somebody who is able to use that technology to create more efficiencies, so you can get one thing off your plate that you all deserve.
Okay, rapid fire. Best advice you give to your 21-year-old self?
Man, I would have given advice to realize how to better monetize a product, so when I sold the company, it would have worked out a little better.
Dream vacation?
Dream vacation. 109 South Warren Street in Syracuse, New York. It's my office. But I love going to work. I really do. And vacations are nice, but I look forward to getting back to 109 South Warren Street.
Go to karaoke song.
Country roads take me home to the place. So anyway, that's in 2.5 hours. Howl at the Moon. Sidearm Sports Party. Look forward to seeing you all there.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2023 Keith Jackson Eternal Flame Award winner, Jeff Rubin.
Thank you.
Yes, that's amazing. While they're setting up the stage, you may have noticed a time or two the reference to CSC and not COSIDA. For 65 years, the COSIDA name and brand served this organization well, and many talented individuals received awards under its umbrella every year. Many of those people were inducted each year into the COSIDA Hall of Fame. No part of college sports enterprise has experienced more change in their official job description and, quote, other duties as assigned than the members on campus who help tell the stories of the university, the teams, and the student athletes. The messages and the methods have changed, but the people haven't. The professionals in this room have adapted and evolved with the changing landscape of college sports. And the select few who achieve a lifetime of success doing that, well, the designation of Hall of Famer still exists, no matter what the letters are that stand in front of it. The CSC Hall of Fame distinction is reserved for CSC members who have made an outstanding contribution to the field of sports information and athletics communications in intercollegiate athletics. They must have served a minimum of 15 years in the profession and are selected by current CSC Hall of Fame members and the Special Awards Committee. At this time, I invite all past Hall of Fame members to stand and be recognized. Now it's time we induct another class, the first class to go into the Hall of Fame under the new brand of the CSC, the class of 2023. A champion communicator for more than 50 years at UCLA, our first inductee publicized nearly 100 NCAA team champions and hundreds of nationally and internationally recognized athletic luminaries such as John Wooden, Terry Donahoe, Ann Myers, my favorite, Bill Walton, and Troy Aikman. He has received CSC's Lifetime Achievement and 25-year awards and has earned numerous CSC awards for his department media guides and game programs. He interned in the Sports Information Office starting as a freshman in 1972 under CSC Hall of Famer Vic Kelly. Soon after, he began his illustrious professional career in 1976 as an assistant SID and worked his way up the department ladder, ending his career as a senior associate athletic director for sports information. He continues to serve as a resource on the rich athletic history of his alma mater. From UCLA, Mark Dellins.
Great.
All right? All right.
I'm retired. It's great.
Okay, listen, not many can tell us stories about John Wooden. Give us one good one.
My junior year, I worked in the Sports Information Office and also was the co-sports editor of the school paper. After we beat Louisville in the NCAA semifinals, Coach Wooden announced that the Kentucky game would be his last game. I told him we wanted to do something special about him for the school newspaper, and did he have any time to talk? Told me he was going out to dinner with his family. When he got back to call his hotel room at 9 o'clock, had me come over, spent a half hour with me, just John Wooden and a young junior. I never forgot that, all those years, and he was always good to me.
Besides Coach Wooden, who else influenced your career?
Coach Donahue. His first year as head coach was my first year as a full-time employee, so I was there his entire career. Vic Kelly, CSC Hall of Fame member who hired me. 2 ADs, Pete Dowis, who promoted me to head SID, and Dan Guerrero, who became the best boss anybody could ever hope to work for. Tim Tessalone, my counterpart at USC, and my late wife, Andra, who always supported me no matter how late the phone calls came before cell phones.
There is a rich tradition at UCLA, and there are a lot of stories that you could pinpoint to. However, the city of Los Angeles is a very crowded media space. How did you cut through all that to be able to share the great stories and traditions of UCLA?
Well, you have to develop relationships with your coaches and athletes. You have to have a great staff. And you have to make the relationships with the media. Twitter is great, texting's great, email's great, but looking somebody in the eye or picking up the phone, the personal touch can get it done.
There are a lot of us in the room that were working before the internet, right? Coach Wooden had many famous sayings. Which one would you share with this group that you think would be most appropriate?
I have to go with two. One is make each day your masterpiece. Yesterday's gone, tomorrow's not promised. And the other one was, it's what you learn after you know it all that counts.
I wish I brought my pen up here to write that down. There's a recording of this somewhere, right? Okay, I'll be back on that, Mark.
You can call me.
Oh, I'll call you. All right, I'll give you a call. All right, rapid fire. This is a hard one. This is the hardest question I've asked all night. Who's your favorite athlete to watch?
I learned a long time ago, never pick a favorite. The coaches taught me that one.
That would be a really tough one at UCLA. Favorite thing to do in your spare time?
Go to UCLA home games and hang out with my two rescue dogs.
I'm going to hang out with you at UCLA sometime. All right, what advice would you give to someone brand new in the industry?
Build relationships with your coaches and athletes, with your staff members, and with the media. It's all about the personal touch.
Congratulations, Mark.
Thank you.
CFC Hall of Famer Mark Dellings from UCLA. Working in athletic communications for 3 decades, our next inductee led the athletic communications efforts at NCAA Division II Bowie State from 2003 until his retirement in May of 2021. Prior to his Bowie State tenure, he began his illustrious career at his alma mater, Virginia State University, serving as sports information director from 1988 to 2000. He served on the CSC Board of Directors as an at-large representative for a 3-year term, was president of the National Division II Sports Information Directors Association Group, and also served as president of the Central Intercollegiate Athletic Association Sports Information Directors Association. The CIAA and the CIAA Sports Information Directors Association selected him as the John Holley Sports Information Director of the Year 3 times. Among his most recent honors, he was inducted into the CIAA John B. McClendon Hall of Fame in 2022. From Bowie State University, Greg Goings. Way to go, Greg. Congrats.
Ooh, full circle moment here.
It is, because you've done a lot in this industry, not just in the sports information industry, but sales, radio, officiating.
Officiating.
Looks like you're wearing some stripes tonight.
Can't get away from it.
Yeah, how do these roles that you've played help you celebrate what you've achieved?
Teach you patience, if nothing else. You have to have patience with all of that. Endurance, you have to learn to pace yourself. And probably the last one is perseverance. You got to push through no matter what.
How did these conventions and the networking that you did here with your wife's help as well help your growth and longevity in this industry?
Oh, let me just say thank you for being in my corner for all these years. I guess coming here, it's one big family reunion. You know, you get to see everybody, and it's just good to come and learn things and network, and that's what it's all about for me, just seeing people up close. And it's good to see up close, except when we were in COVID. That just drove me crazy, and not being able to come kind of put a wrinkle in it, but it's good to be here with everybody.
Talk about the mentorship for you of the late John Holley and LeCount Conaway and how they were instrumental in your career.
Well, LeCount Conaway, the late, great LeCount Conaway, I wasn't ready for this, but LeCount pushed me into this. Started off as a scorekeeper for the men's basketball team, and he come up with this great line. I said, "You've got a good handwriting, so I'm going to use you." Mind you, we didn't have computers back then, so on the way home from games, the only light burning on the bus was mine, because I'm up there handwriting statistics and all that kind of stuff. So he was a great influence for me. Now, John Holly, he has a line that I always use, and I tell people that have been in my circle for years that the best line that I heard from John Holly, I failed miserably at it for 30 years, but I think I got it right at some point, is "The work will be there tomorrow." So that's something that you have to learn.
So your career has spanned decades, and when you try to reflect back on one or a special moment, what would that be?
Special moments, let me see. Special moment for me. Oh, it would probably be, it's non-sports information altogether. That would be working a basketball game at a high-level collegiate game during COVID, and the teams battled and battled and battled, and the game went into overtime. Mind you, teams already had a depleted roster because of COVID. Game went into overtime, not just one, not just two, not three, but 4 overtimes. By the time we got to the 4th overtime, one team was down to 3 players, and the other team was down to 2. And the team with 2 almost won the game. I'll never forget that. And my partners were like, "This is amazing."
That is amazing. Sounds
It
like
is.
playing on the
Interesting.
playground, right?
Absolutely.
So the Hall of Fame, it's a big deal.
It is.
It's a huge recognition for a career well lived. What do you want people to remember about your career?
That I gave my all. You have to really work hard at this. That I always put my student athletes first. Learned to put a positive twist on any story, no matter how negative it is. I tell my teams, whether you win by 1 or lose by 100, I'm going to try to put a positive twist on it. They didn't like some of the headlines that I wrote when they lost, but that just goes along with it.
Rapid fire here. Best sporting event you've attended?
Best sporting event. Working that 4 overtime game with 5 players.
That's amazing. Your favorite book or movie?
A Few Good Men.
Excellent movie.
Absolutely, because you can handle the truth.
Best advice you'd give someone in the room today?
Be a sponge. Always be willing to learn. Always ask for help, and learn and understand that the work will be there tomorrow.
Congratulations, Greg.
Thank you.
Our next inductee worked for the University of Iowa Athletic Department for 41 years before retiring in 2012. He was the 3rd sports information director in school history, and at the time of his retirement was the longest tenured sports information professional in the Big Ten Conference. In their history of the Big Ten Conference, sorry, apologize. Iowa holds the distinction of being the organization with the most CSC Hall of Fame inductees, as tonight's inductee becomes the 4th Hawkeye SID to be enshrined alongside Eric Wilson, George Wine, and Steve Rowe. He received a CSC Lifetime Achievement Award in 2012 and was named Wrestling Publicist of the Year in 1992 by the Wrestling Media of America. He was recognized with the 2001 Elmer Scoop Hutchins Lifetime SID Award from the All-American Football Foundation. His Iowa wrestling guides were judged best in the nation 3 times by CSC and Amateur Wrestling News. From the University of Iowa, Phil Hattie. Representing Phil, yes. And representing Phil tonight is longtime colleague and 2022 Hall of Famer, Steve Rowe. Good to see you.
Good to be seen.
Yeah. Okay, so Phil was one of your buddies when you got started, right? What was he like? Like, give us a little breakdown. Give us a scouting report.
He was always there with advice because when I joined the Iowa staff, just learning the ways of how things had been done for years and years under George Wine and Phil in the office together, and just kind of lay low, observe and learn as you observe things, and go with the flow and build relationships. And Iowa's been a big family with Phil and with George, and we've been able to keep that going, and Phil's a big part of that.
And you kept adding to your family because you really incorporated students. That was a big part of what you guys were doing in the athletic department. How did Phil mentor and empower so many young people who have gone on to have successful careers?
I think he led by example, whether it's the long hours or how to do things the right way, and just always doing things right, and establishing a student protocol, giving the students a lot of responsibilities, giving them their own sports, and letting them do things on their own, sometimes make mistakes on their own, but learn from that. And we have been fortunate. We have a lot of former students that have gone on to professional sports, college sports information, jobs in communication, and it's something that we're all proud of.
Well, it's pretty cool. You got the most Hall of Famers, that's for sure. When you look back on the 22 years that you and Phil shared together, is there one or two memories that stick out in your mind?
In this business, there's wins and there's losses that stick out in your mind, and it's whether it's a happy locker room, sometimes it's a sad locker room, but being together, building those relationships. We've had our athletic directors, our leaders. Bump Elliott was the athletic director when most of Phil's career, Bob Bowlesby. So having those great athletic directors, Gary Barta the last 17 years, having great leadership, having stability in the coaching staffs of a number of our sports, and working together. And Phil and I were fortunate for a while. We worked 10 Final Fours as volunteers, where we were able to go to the men's Final Four and help out. And traveling together and spending 4 or 5 days each year with Phil at the Final Four was always a lot of fun.
We mentioned the most Hall of Famers. What does it mean to you to be up here to represent Phil and to speak on his behalf, considering you were a Hall of Famer last year?
I'm so happy for Phil because last year I was happy for myself and proud, but there was a little void there because it was like, well, Phil worked all these years and is so deserving, and so it's almost coming full circle now to have Phil in the club with myself, George Wine, Eric Wilson, 4 SIDs in 99 years, and it's been great fun. And Phil's been was always a great boss and a great coworker.
That has to be the stat of the night. 4 in 99 years.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Started out with great athletic bloodlines. Eric Wilson ran in the Olympics. The 3 of us since then didn't have that kind of talent, athletic talent.
Okay, rapid fire here for Phil. What was the best, or who was the best college wrestler you think he ever saw compete?
Easiest answer ever, Dan Gable.
Yeah. Best advice Phil ever gave you?
Yeah, I don't know if it was any, paragraph of information, or I think it was mostly leading by example. Phil was kind of known as a jokester, a little practical joker. So I think part of it was always, don't take yourself too seriously. We do want to win, but this is athletics, it's sports, it's not life or death. Phil's a great family man, and just leading by example and doing things the right way.
Phil is very fortunate to have you represent him tonight. Congratulations to you and the University of Iowa. Thank you. Phil.
Thank you, Dad. All right, thank you.
Congrats. Our next inductee began his sports communications career as an undergraduate in the Sports Information Office at Washington State University, Following graduation, he served as a sports writer before returning to his alma mater as the assistant SID in 1977. As CSC member all those years, he spent 26 years as the assistant athletic director and sports information director at Gonzaga University, overseeing a staff responsible for publicizing the school's 31 NCAA postseason appearances before retiring after 33 years. In 2011, he was awarded the USBWA Katha Quinn Award for outstanding service to the media and to the game of college basketball. He received a CSC Lifetime Achievement Award in 2015. He directed the media campaign that led to Gonzaga's Adam Morrison sharing the 2006 United States Basketball Writers Association National Player of the Year honor. He was editor of the National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association newsletter, served on the West Coast Conference Awards Committee, and is former chair of the WCC Sports Information Directors. From Gonzaga University, Oliver Pierce. Congratulations, Oliver.
Thank
Congrats.
you. Thank you.
All right, so, I mean, this is pretty cool, right? Big honor. Like, all right, what does it mean? Like, can you put it in words what this means to you after your incredibly successful career?
Well, I attended my first COSIDA. I am originally a COSIDian in 1989 in Houston. And I remember walking in and seeing the legends of the SID world then, you know, the Mr. B's, Bob Bradley, and Jack Zane, and Langston Rogers, and Bill Little. I mean, the list goes on forever and ever. And they talked to the guy from Gonzaga. It became real apparent quickly that this organization is a family. And as I went to more and more events, I guess I kind of became the one that tried to guide the young people to a path of greatness. My good friend Cindy Potter tells a story quite often about how Blake, Tim, and I kind of brought her into the fold on the shuttle ride from the airport in Nashville to the hotel. And the number of people that I've seen come through this organization and do great things is very, very satisfying, and to become a member of a Hall of Fame that includes such dignitaries is beyond words.
When I started my broadcasting career 35 years ago, there was only one women's basketball game on television. When you started, there weren't a lot of people that understood what these jobs were and what you would do with them. What's your backstory on how you got involved?
Oh, it's kind of a weird one. As you mentioned, I started working in the WSU SID office under Mike Wilson my junior year of college. My first two jobs were football press box PA announcing and doing minutes played for the men's basketball games. I always wanted to be a sports writer. Mike was very influential in getting my first job at the Tri-City Herald. I was there for 3 years. I turned down Rod Commons once to be his assistant at Washington State because it just wasn't the right time. When he offered a second time, I jumped at the opportunity. So I went to Washington State in 1977, had a great 7 years. I think a lot of people aspire to work at their alma mater, and I was fortunate enough to do it. I left Washington State, opened a tavern, sold the tavern, became the sports editor at the Moscow Idahonian across the border, and 3 years later, the job at Gonzaga opened. When I was working for the Idahonian, there was a basketball tournament in Spokane. It was called the Rosars Elpo Tournament. Yeah, it was named after dog food. And it was Washington State, Idaho, Eastern Washington University, and Gonzaga. And my good friend Dale Goodwin was making the move from the SID office across campus to become the public relations officer for Gonzaga, and he told me I should apply. So after the tournament was over, there was a social, and I talked to Dan Fitzgerald, the AD and basketball coach at Gonzaga, who I'd already known for many years. And he said, "Get me your resume, you've already got an interview." So it came down to me and Dave Cook, who at the time was the SID at the University of Idaho. And fortunately, I got the job and stayed there 26 years, and the rest is history.
I bet you got some good tavern stories, but we're not going to go into that right now. Rapid fire, bucket list event you've not checked off your list.
There's probably a couple. My wife and I, Mary Beth is here. We've been to the Reagan, Nixon, and Clinton presidential libraries. I've always wanted to see the John F. Kennedy Library because if you're from my era, you know where you were on that fateful day. So, and the other one would be to be at Game 7 in Chicago with the Blackhawks playing one of the original six, or better yet, playing the Sid the Kid and the Pittsburgh Penguins, and my nominator, Tom Galbraith, sitting next to me because he's a Penguins fan.
Favorite thing you do in your spare time?
It's sports related, believe it or not. I've been the football stats caller at Washington State for 32 years. I go to a lot of sporting events, big Dodger fans, so when they're in Seattle, big Packer fans, so when they're in Seattle. I also have 2 dogs, so I spend a lot of time with my dogs, and my wife and I do as much travel as possible.
Congratulations, Oliver.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next Hall of Fame inductee has worn many hats during his excellent 35-year tenure in college sports. He's been an assistant AD for media relations at New Mexico State, the athletic director at Midwestern State, sports information director at Texas A&M Commerce, and the director of sports information and marketing at Stephen F. Austin. All this before ending his career after serving for 6 years at Hawaii Pacific University as the assistant athletic director of strategic communications. Through all these career stops, this man gave back to the profession, serving on national and regional committees and holding leadership positions. In the summer of 2022, he completed his term as the president of Division II Sports Information Directors of America. In that role, he also served on the CSC Advisory Council. He also completed a 4-year term on the NCAA Division II Men's and Women's Tennis Committee and served on the Pac-West Scheduling Committee. The 3rd longest tenured sports information director at HBU, he was honored by the school in the spring of 2018 for recognition of excellence by the Staff Council. Ladies and gentlemen, from Hawaii Pacific University, Bill Powers. Congratulations, Bill.
Thank you.
Is this standard apparel?
The lays, of course, for any outstanding event that happens, graduations, big events, and I am so blessed because not only was I taken in by my Hawaii Pacific family, my ohana and my truthfully, Hanai Ohana, the University of Hawaii, and they are very well represented here today, and I do appreciate them being here. Thank you very much. Vince Baltimore, who was the AD at Hawaii Pacific, is now over at University of Hawaii, and the gang. Derek, thanks for letting everybody come.
You're going to have a heavy bar tab later, I think. What brought you into the athletic communications business?
Well, I was a broadcast student as an undergraduate, and I was fortunate enough to be picked to be a play-by-play announcer for Arkansas State University. And I got to work very closely with Jerry Schaefer, and Jerry taught me what an SID really was and how they work. And that helped formulate a philosophy I've had, which was a radio broadcaster, a team radio broadcaster should be an SID of the air. And I just continued that all the way through. And when I had the opportunity, When I was at East Texas State University before it became Texas A&M Commerce, I was hired to be the radio voice and to assist the then SID in doing their work, and then became the SID. And Jerry was actually the first person I called after I was named as the sports information director.
One of the themes that seems to be running through here is networking, relationships, and the give back part of it. And as much as you had a job, you were willing to take on all these other responsibilities to help the profession. Why?
Because I believe, and I've always been raised to believe that you give back. You don't just take, you have to give back. And I want to give back. And I've been so pleased that folks have backed me. My mother, Wilma Powers, has made the trip. She's here tonight, and I'm so proud that she could be able to be here. My wife, Rhonda, understood why I wanted to help out and give back and be a part of many events, Final Fours, etc., to continue on in giving back. And I'm hopefully teaching my sons the same thing.
Rapid fire.
Okay.
Dream job.
There are two, either being a broadcaster for a major university, a play-by-play guy, of course, or being an athletic director. Either or, and I love those. Those are still dream jobs, and hopefully maybe have a chance to get either one of those, even though I'm retired right now.
Available is what I heard. Best advice you'd give your 21-year-old self?
Make sure to have fun. It's not all work. We want to say it's work, but have fun while you're doing it, because if not, you aren't going to enjoy yourself.
You look like a guy that's had a lot of fun. What's your walk-up song?
Start me up.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bill Powers.
Thank you.
Our final Hall of Fame class member logged more than 30 years in NCAA Division I and II athletics communications at the conference and school levels. Her stops included the Mountain West, Sun Belt, Lone Star Conferences, and the MIAA, as well as LSU, New Mexico, Louisiana Monroe, Denver, Eastern New Mexico, Pittsburgh State, and Northwest Missouri State. She served as president of CSC during the 2015-16 academic year, the fourth female to hold that role. Before that, she served a 5-year term as an at-large representative. In total, she logged 11 years of board service to the organization. She served on the CSC nominating committee and is in her 2nd year on the CSC Diversity and Inclusion Committee. She earned the Arch Ward Award for Outstanding Contributions to the Profession and the Kenworthy Community Service Award. She served as the local media host coordinator for the 2012 NCAA Women's Final Four and worked on the NCAA Women's Final Four Media Coordination Committee for a decade. She's invaluable in that space to those of us that worked that event. From Geneva College, Judy Wilson. All right, Jude. Hey. All right, we've known each other a long time. We go way back.
Oh, yeah.
What does this honor mean to you?
Wow. A career well served. And a lot of people to thank as far as leading the way. I'm very grateful for the people that gave me a start, that have come alongside throughout the many years leading in this organization. By the way, Doug Vance says hi. you know, Doug is important to me. Who has been very supportive over the decades. So many others along the way. Women in the profession who paved the way for me. As I look around the room, I see so many that are future Hall of Famers, and so many that have given so much to this organization. So for me, it's very important to continue to serve.
You started with serve in your comments, and you've ended with serve. Why do you think it's so important for all the young people in here to understand why that's important, not just for this organization, but for moving forward in their careers?
We are in a service business, and that's what we have to remember. You've heard many others tonight talk about serving the student athletes, serving your coaches, serving your administrators, and that's what we do. It's not us first. It's others. And I was raised by two preacher's kids, so I learned service very quickly growing up, and through my grandparents. So service has always been a key part of my life.
There's been a lot of changes in the industry and this organization. The leaders before you, Jess, her leadership. What are you most proud about when you see the direction that this organization is going?
So 7 years ago, we stood here and talked about a new strategic plan. And what's been great is to see pieces of that plan come together over these last 7 years, whether it was the Diversity and Inclusion Committee being started, continuing to produce avenues for people to be in this profession, to come to convention, to do professional development. It's just great to see all of that happening, and knowing that with Eric's leadership, with Jess, with the others coming up on the board, that it's going to continue, and that it is time for another strategic plan, by the way. So some of you be prepared for those surveys coming out, probably.
Please fill out the survey when it arrives.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
That's what
right.
we need from the organization so your voice can be heard. Okay, rapid fire.
Uh-oh.
Dream vacation or favorite vacation spot?
So the family I have here tonight is my cousin Kathy and her kids. For those of you that remember 11 years ago, Kathy's husband is who I donated the kidney to 11 years ago last week. Our vacation plans for the next couple summers, we have 2 states we have to get to hit 50. North Dakota, which I know the MIAA people are going, how did you not get North Dakota or North Dakota State? And then Alaska. So those are the 2 that are left. And then I will say this, my mother is 80 years old. We finally got her passport this year. So Ireland is on the radar.
Nice. Go-to karaoke song?
Oh, okay. Jeff, you sang, so do I have to sing?
You don't have to sing.
Well, people are talking about people. I hear them whisper. There you go. That's all you get right now.
One last thing. Best advice that you've ever given or you've ever received?
I would say, I hope that I've given is just the encouragement to hang in there in this profession, especially for the young women coming up. It's going to be hard. There are going to be people that are going to put barriers in your path and say things to you that are going to discourage you. Get past it. Get past it. Be bold. If you want to be a part of this organization in the leadership roles, find your buddies, find your people, and let them know. And just keep going. Keep going.
Congratulations, Judy.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it. We did it. We got through the entire agenda. What an incredible night of celebrating so many important legends and leaders in this industry. So thank you. Thank you personally for the award as well. And thank you again to ESPN for sponsoring our award show. Congratulations to all the winners. Before you go to the party yet, and you're a Hall of Famer, we need you up here on stage. So all the Hall of Fame inductees back on stage for a group picture immediately following my closure. And don't forget to attend the Academic All-American Hall of Fame Luncheon on Tuesday and the CSC Special Awards Luncheon on Wednesday. Thank you all. Have a great night. Be safe.